It was supposed to be just another quiet night inside Haiti's presidential residence. But in the early hours of July 7, 2021, everything changed. Gunshots tore through the walls of the president's private home. When the gunfire stopped, President Jovenel Moïse was dead. And beside him, First Lady Martine Moïse was fighting for her life. She was shot multiple times but survived. Her husband, the man she had built her life with, was gone. His body left broken on the floor of their bedroom. What really happened that night inside the most secure home in Haiti? And why did so many strange details point to a plot far bigger than anyone expected? This is the tragic, and still suspicious, story of Haiti's First Lady, Martine Moïse, the woman who lived through an assassination and was later accused of knowing too much. To find out more, let's dive into Empire Elegance. The night that shocked the world. It began around 1 a.m. on July 7, 2021, when heavily armed men stormed the private residence of Haiti's president in the hills of Pétionville, near Port-au-Prince. The attackers were described as foreign commandos, speaking English and Spanish, not Creole or French. According to eyewitnesses and early reports, the gunmen claimed to be part of a U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration operation, shouting DEA operation, everyone stand down, as they broke in. But this was no official mission. Within minutes, they reached the president's bedroom. A local justice of the peace later reported that President Moïse had 12 bullet wounds, including to his head and torso, a detail confirmed by outlets such as Le Nouveliste and Reuters. It was a brutal killing. Beside him, First Lady Martine Moïse was also hit, bullets tearing through her arm and torso. She later said she pretended to be dead as the gunmen searched the room. Her daughter, who was home that night, managed to hide and survive. When the attackers left, Martine lay bleeding on the floor, next to her husband's lifeless body. Hours later, Haitian police arrived, but by then, the killers had vanished. Martine Moïse was rushed to a local hospital and later airlifted to Miami, Florida, for emergency treatment. For days, her condition was critical. Her body was covered in bandages and stitches, her right arm immobilized. But she survived. When she finally appeared in public, her voice trembling, wrapped in a sling, Haiti listened. She spoke softly, but with conviction. The mercenaries who assassinated my husband are still out there. They came for him, but they also came for democracy. Her words electrified the nation. The image of the wounded First Lady, surviving a violent coup-like attack, became a symbol of both tragedy and resilience. But as she began to demand answers, and as investigators uncovered more, the story took a darker, more complicated turn. The assassination of President Moïse quickly became one of the most tangled murder cases in modern political history. Over 40 suspects were arrested, including 18 Colombian ex-soldiers, several Haitian police officers, and 2 Haitian Americans. Weapons, radios, and tactical gear were seized, yet no one could clearly explain who had ordered the attack. The plot seemed too organized for mercenaries acting alone. There were questions of foreign financing, political betrayal, and even possible involvement from within the president's own security detail. Before his death, President Moïse had been ruling by decree after dissolving parliament. His plan to rewrite Haiti's constitution had angered many elites. He also spoke publicly about businessmen and politicians plotting against him, claiming they wanted to destroy the presidency to keep control of the country. So when he was killed, suspicion spread in all directions, from political rivals to business tycoons to even those closest to him. At first, Martine Moïse was seen as a victim, the grieving widow who barely escaped death. She attended her husband's funeral dressed in black, her arm still in a cast, tears streaming down her face as she placed her hand on the casket. But behind the sympathy, whispers began to spread. How had the gunman reached the president's bedroom so easily? Why did none of his guards get injured, or even fire back? And how did Martine survive so many bullets when her husband didn't stand a chance? To some Haitians, these were just questions. To others, they raised suspicions that the plot might have involved people close to the presidency, a theory investigators have never confirmed. In the months that followed, speculation in Haitian media suggested Martine Moïse could know more than she had publicly shared, claims she strongly denied. She told reporters, "I am a victim. I have lost my husband. I nearly lost my life. The truth must come out." Investigators later discovered that none of the president's guards were killed or injured during the attack. Several admitted they were ordered to stand down that night after being told a DEA operation was underway. Haiti's respected human rights group RNDDH released a report alleging severe security lapses and even possible collusion, noting that the main gate appeared to have been opened from inside. Authorities have never publicly proven those allegations, but the contradictions deepened public suspicion. Was it incompetence or betrayal from within the president's own circle? Martine Moïse, meanwhile, was trying to rebuild her life and seek justice, but as she pushed for answers, she began clashing with Haiti's new leadership. After Jovenel Moïse's death, a power vacuum plunged Haiti into political chaos. Multiple figures claimed the presidency, including Ariel Henry, who had been appointed prime minister just before the assassination, but not yet sworn in. Martine Moïse initially hinted she might run for president herself, saying it was her duty to continue her husband's mission. But that ambition faded after she accused Ariel Henry's government of blocking the investigation. According to Haitian prosecutors, Henry had exchanged late-night phone calls with a suspect on the evening of the murder. Shortly after they sought to question him, the lead prosecutor was dismissed, triggering outrage in Haiti's press. Martine Moïse publicly questioned the government's motives. Her calls for justice made her both admired and controversial. Admired as a widow demanding truth, criticized by others as a political figure controlling a narrative that implicated powerful people. By 2023, the Haitian investigation had nearly collapsed amid corruption and threats. The case then moved partly to the United States, where several suspects had Florida connections. In 2023 and 2024, U.S. federal courts convicted multiple men involved in the plot, including Colombian ex-soldiers and Haitian-American intermediaries. Prosecutors said the plan began as a kidnapping attempt to replace Moïse with a different leader, but turned deadly. They alleged that Haitian political and business figures financed the mission, though the ultimate mastermind remains unidentified. In February 2024, a Haitian investigative judge formally charged Martine Moïse and former acting Prime Minister Claude Joseph, along with dozens of others. Both have denied any wrongdoing, calling the charges politically motivated and promising to contest them in court. That judicial twist ensured that suspicion, justified or not, would continue to follow the surviving First Lady. Since the assassination, Martine Moïse has kept a low profile. She has avoided political events and rarely appears in public. Her life is now marked by both trauma and isolation. In interviews, she describes nightmares, fear, and distrust, saying she still doesn't feel safe returning to Haiti. Her children now live abroad for their protection. She spends most of her time in Florida, working quietly on the foundation she and her husband created for education and women's rights. But in Haiti, the rumors never stopped. Some say she is still being watched. Others believe she holds the final key to uncovering who planned her husband's murder. Even today, more than 3 years later, no one knows the full truth of what happened that night. Why did the attackers know exactly where to go? Why were the security systems disabled? And why, among all the chaos, did only Martine survive? Every investigation, every trial, only raises more questions. Was it a failed coup? A foreign operation gone wrong? Or an inside conspiracy to remove a president who had become inconvenient? Martine Moïse remains a symbol of both tragedy and suspicion, the wounded widow who may also hold answers others want forgotten. The story of Martine and Jovenel Moïse is not just about a political assassination. It's about betrayal, survival, and the dark cost of power in a nation haunted by corruption and chaos. She lost her husband, her home, and her peace, yet remains one of the most talked about figures in Haitian history. Did she narrowly escape death? Or did she escape something far more complicated? The truth may never be known, but the mystery of that night still echoes through Haiti's corridors of power. This was the tragic fate of Haiti's First Lady Martine Moïse, the woman who was shot beside her husband, and whose survival changed everything. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Empire Elegance, and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories about the lives and legacies of the world's most influential figures. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.